So basically, I know everyone's talking about breakups, and I have a bunch of breakup stories, but I honestly don't even want to give those guys enough time to even think and write and think about them. So something really, really funny and weird and ironic that happened. So I've been wanting to do one of these HelloGiggles shows since I started writing for the site, and recently I broke my leg, and I was literally in the emergency room being diagnosed with a fractured femur when I got an email from Miles on my phone, and it said hey, we have the next HelloGiggles show coming up. The theme is breakups. Feel free to think outside of the box, like breaking up with your friend. Maybe you've broken a bone. And I was like, hello? And I emailed her back, and I'm like, do you know somebody at Cedars-Sinai? This is going to work out really good for your theme. So that's the plus side of fracturing my femur. So, no, that's just one of the plus sides. I have a few. So, okay, I moved here in January, officially. I was kind of on and off throughout 2012. So 2013, I took the plunge and I moved here from New Jersey, which you'll hear in my accent, I think. In and out. It comes in and out, I've been told. So I came out here, and I started taking classes here at UCB. And so my first show, I took an intensive. It was a 2-week class. And, everyone says, break a leg. And I've always thought, that's I hate that phrase. It's rude, and it's kind of mean. Well, guess what? It fucking worked. Because literally the next day, I fell, and I broke my leg. I fell, just a stupid, insignificant fall. Fractured my femur, and so now I find myself in Cedars-Sinai. And this is my first trip to, an LA emergency room. I don't know if you guys are all from around here or whatever, but all I knew about LA hospitals was from what I had seen on 90210, from all of their various heroin addictions and, rapes and shootings and everything. So I figured there would be some good-looking doctors from what I had seen, but they staff that hospital. It is my experience that they staff that hospital with hot everything. The orderlies, the nurses, the guy that came in to check my blood, and I was thinking, I felt like I was in Club Cedars-Sinai. They had the hair gel, and they were all tanned, and I'm like, next time I hurt myself, I'm gonna put on makeup. This is crazy. I finally asked the guy, the guy that was bandaging me up. I'm like, I was not hitting on you, but I'm wondering, is there some sort of an audition process to work at Cedars-Sinai? Do you doctors have headshots in LA? And I was picturing a guy is sitting his parents down and just been listen, Mom, Dad, I'm really sorry. I know you wanted me to be an actor, but I want to be a doctor. And then we're what? No! We bought you all those acting lessons. It's opposite day. I guess that's what happens when you breed out of work actors. You get hot doctor. I don't know. But, I didn't have a problem with that. So, okay, something interesting that you may or may not have known or figured out about me is I am actually for real in a wheelchair. I've been in a wheelchair since I was a little girl. I was in a car accident. But what's been really fun, it's kind of a social experiment, is that people don't really know that. They're just assuming I have this broken leg. So they're kind of approaching it in a different way. And it's amusing me. So okay. So, yeah. So they're more willing to be oh my God, what happened? And I'll just I fell. You're like, what? That's so boring. This has not been boring, trust me. And then I met a guy the other day who had a similar thingy, what do you call it, brace, splint, whatever, on his leg, and I'm like, oh, what happened to you? And he was like, oh, well, I'm a dolphin trainer, and I was training this dolphin, and his tail got caught up on my ankle, and it's a spin thing, and my ankle cracked, and I was like, fuck, my story is boring. And then just on my way here, I met one of Jet Li's stunt doubles who was like, oh yeah, I just got out of my brace the other day. I was doing Expendables 2 and got blown out of a cannon or something. Damn it, I fell off of that porch right there. Alright, I'm just gonna start making up lies, I think. I want to be an actress, so I might as well practice. Oh, and then so people are saying also really, really insulting things but it's kind of funny. They're like, oh, you know what you should do? You should keep that wheelchair so that like when your leg is better, you can use it to like go to the theme parks and cut the lines. And I'm like, oh my god, it's such a good idea. I never thought it that way. It's so not immoral. Oh no, but this one was my favorite. This one guy, so he totally had no idea. He was asking me like all of the questions, what happened, and were you skiing? I'm like, no, I wasn't skiing. I just ran. And then, so I was wearing a headband that day, and he goes, well, that was a good idea that you wore a headband to like bring attention away from the wheelchair. Like, what? All of this time, like I could have been wearing a headband? Like, hailing cabs would have been so much easier. They might actually stop for me, and I'd be like, sucker! That's what I know. But probably the best thing that has happened to me since I fractured my femur is that, so the other day I was strolling down Sunset with my stepsister, and we're kind of like going to get like gelato. We just ate and we're like on our way, and I see Steven Tyler, like, you know, from Aerosmith, sitting at a table, and I pass and I'm like, oh my god, and she's like, I know, I see it. So, so he like kind of, he's on the phone, he has like his little entourage, but he's looking at me and he's like, he's waving. So I'm like, I think I'll, and then he's like, yeah, come here, come. And I'm like, I don't know why, but I'm going, and I'm like, what is happening? And I hope he's waving to me, but if not, I'm not going to blow him off. So, and that is something like, that's one of the things I love about like living here, because I love television, I love pop culture, and when you're here, it's like, I feel like I'm living in my television. I'm like, yeah, that's Steven Tyler, and he's like waving me over. So I go over to him, and he's like, Angel, and I'm like, from the song. He goes, what happened? And this is my Steven Tyler. Shut up, sorry. And he's like rubbing, he rubs my leg like this. He goes, what'd you do this time? And I had actually met him about a year ago at the Grove, and I'm like, do you remember me? And he's like, yeah, what did you do? And I'm like, oh, this is what's happening. And I'm like, I broke my leg and I fell. And he's like, you know, I'm a healer. I can heal you, but it's going to take a little touch. I'm like, I'm sure it is, Steven Tyler. But obviously I told him, I was like, okay. So he goes, okay. So he takes his hand and he puts it on my, right here, on my, you know, nipple area. And we're outside, like, on a patio where there's people, and they're all like watching, and they're like, what's happening over there? And he puts his hands here on my chest, and he says, well, I can see like I can see that this fall didn't affect your main assets. And I'm like, well, thank you. Now I know my main assets. Wear a headband and a low-cut shirt. No one's gonna notice the wheelchair at all. So he puts his, and he says like in that great like Steven Tyler, like American Idol judgy kind of way, like, Lord, I know you're busy. I've seen your schedule. I almost believe that Steven Tyler has seen God's schedule. And then I don't know anything else that he said, because I spent the rest of the prayer looking around at people going, I know, it's weird, but it's Steven Tyler. You were totally like looking for the right? It's fine. Luckily, I was wearing it was like a hot day, and my shirt was kind of like low cut, and it all worked out. The miracles of the universe and my slutty LA shirt. So, but the crazy thing is, the next time that I went to the doctor, he was like, wow, this is really healing quickly. I think that we can start having to bend your leg. And I was like, oh yeah, that was Steven Tyler. He's a healer. So something just like a little bit cool is that today is March 9th, and March 9th, besides being the anniversary of Biggie's death, it is also the anniversary of, coincidentally, my death. I was in a car accident on March 9th, and I died. I know that's like super serious for HelloGiggles, but the point is, I can just imagine like my mom, you know, she was like praying. I know she was praying that I would live and survive. And once, I don't know if she was praying I would move to LA and get to second base with Steven Tyler. But if she was, I owe her. But basically, the whole timing of the email with Miles, and you know, like, this is something I've always wanted to do, and it falling on this like anniversary and stuff. It's basically like, it's like my big break, kind of like my big break. And then so it's like I'm broke into show business and all this thing. But the funny thing is, you know, and it's like, be very specific. This is just a warning. When you're praying, when you're wishing, you have to be very specific. I prayed, like, I just want to go to LA, and I just want to get cast in something. And then I came to LA, and I got cast in a fucking cast. Just be specific. And, you know, basically with a good friend, you know, this will be like the moral of my story is just dream on. Dream until you dream.